Welcome, dear learners. Welcome to the lecture series on financial management. Dear learners, in the last session, we were done with the profitability index method. Now, today, I am back with another method under modern capital budgeting techniques, that is, internal rate of return method. Now, this method is quite confusing and most important for the examination point of view or from the examination point of view. So anyhow, I will be making it simple for you. Before I do so, let me explain you what is IRR or internal rate of return method. Friends, in the last few sessions when we were discussing net present value method and profitability index method, we were calculating the present value of cash inflows and present value of cash outflows. So the point at which these two, both present value of cash inflows and present value of cash outflows, or IRR is the rate of return which equates both of these cash flows, that is present value of cash inflows and present value of cash outflows. Or let me put it in this way, IRR is a situation where NPV becomes zero. That is, when present value of cash inflows is equal to present value of cash outflows, the resultant is zero. So this situation is, we refer this situation as internal rate of return. So once we have understood the concept of IRR, let us move forward to discuss the formula for calculating internal rate of return method. So here you can see the formula. IRR is equals to RL plus PV of CFAT at lower rate minus PV of CBO divided by delta PV into delta R. Now let us see what each terminology mean. Now see, RL refers to lower rate of return, where RH refers to higher rate of return. Now you may get a doubt that where is RH in the formula. See, in the formula there is no RH, but in the formula we have delta R. So in order to obtain delta R, you need to deduct both RH and RL. So you need to the formula for delta R is RH minus RL. Now delta PV. So delta PV is equals to present value of CFAT at lower rate minus present value of CFAT at higher rate. So a very simple formula, you need to remember it. Now once we have understood the formula, the next thing we need to learn is the decision criteria under IRR. So let us see the decision criteria or the decision rule under IRR. Now we know very well that we have two types of projects. One is independent project and dependent projects. So the decision also varies according to the project we are undertaking. So in case of independent project, that means where we are having only one project, then if you are using IRR method, so in such cases, in case of independent projects, accept the proposal if the IRR is more than the cost of capital. So here IRR is represented by small r and cost of capital is represented by k, small k. So if r is greater than k, that means if calculated IRR is more than cost of capital, then you need to accept it. If the calculated IRR is less than the cost of capital, then that means r is less than k, then you need to reject it. Next, in case of mutually exclusive project, that means when you are dealing with two or more projects, then in such cases a project with highest IRR is accepted. Very simple rules. There are two simple rules in case of independent project and in case of mutually exclusive project. So this is what is all about IRR. So let us sum up what we have learned in this session. So we started understanding the concept of IRR. We have understood that IRR is a situation where NPV becomes 0, or the situation where present value of cash inflows equates the present value of cash outflows, or when NPV becomes 0, that situation is called IRR. We have learned the formula and also the decision rules in case of independent project and in case of dependent projects. So that's all for today. We'll be coming up with problems on this IRR in the next session. Till then, good day, goodbye.